Hello and welcome to the Will or Trust What's Your Plan podcast. I'm Terence Quinn, an estate planning attorney dedicated to helping families like yours secure their futures and protect their assets. Here we are, episode 10 of Will or Trust What's Your Plan. This episode is going to be fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you as well. I got to tell you, it might not be fun for some of the attorneys that might watch because I'm probably going to say something that they don't like. I'm going to get to that later. I know I typically read from the book at the beginning of the episode. I need you all out there to remind me to read it towards the end, because that when I deal with something that's probably going to upset the attorneys. Anyway, let's jump right in. Today we're going to talk all about keeping your plan up to date, as well as how to vet an estate planning attorney. Let's start with keeping it up to date. I realized over the years that advice or training that I had gotten wasn't exact as it should have been, as beneficial as it should have been. I was trained to tell my clients that they should review their plan every 3 to 5 years. Now, they weren't telling me just bad information back then. I think that's what they thought. But in my experience, I've realized that once your plan is put together, congratulations, by the way, on putting your plan together. Once your plan is put together, you should review that plan every single year. I know you think I'm tripping. I am not. You should review your plan every single year. I am going to read something from the book. Life is dynamic, and so are your circumstances. Regular updates to your estate plan are crucial to ensure it reflects your current wishes and accounts for any changes in your life, family, or finances. And I'll say, and the law. Watch this. In Michigan just recently, at the time of this recording, this past summer, signed on to the Uniform Power of Attorney Act, which means it changed some rules around powers of attorney, which means that it's a good idea for me to update my client's plans. Well, for the client who just believes in doing the plan once and never updating it, their power of attorney won't be updated. And so I've realized that clients should update their plan or review it every single year. One of the things that I've launched in my practice is a maintenance plan called an estate health plan. And with that plan, what we do is for one annual fee, it entitles them to an annual meeting, which has its own fee without the plan. It entitles them to one round of minor changes. I had a client right now that I got a call back who called yesterday and said, hey, I want to update my plan and it shouldn't really cost anything. I just want to change the people. What she doesn't realize is that means my team has to change the people in every document. So we have to redo most of their plan. So it's not going to be a simple change, even though it feels like it. Well, on the maintenance plan, the estate health plan, it's included in that one annual fee. And then the third deal is super important. This is the family meeting. I invite them to schedule a meeting with me and their children or the people they've put in charge. We call them fiduciaries, so that I can talk to them about what's in place. I can make sure they understand their role so that when it's time to step into that role, they already know what to do, and maybe more importantly, what not to do. That's all a part of that maintenance plan. My encouragement to you is when you put your plan in place, I think that you should require that your attorney meets with you every single year to review that plan to make sure it still complies with your personal wishes. Those wishes change. You'd be surprised how often you want to change what you have in place, as well as the law as the laws change. Something to keep in mind. Now here's the part I warned you about where I might make some people upset. I got to do what I got to do, y'all. I got to give you the right info. Watch this in the book on page 82 of the book, How to Vet an Estate Planning Attorney. Choosing the right estate planning attorney is a critical decision. Start by researching attorneys in your area who specialize in estate planning. Consider factors such as qualifications, experience, and client reviews. Schedule consultations with potential attorneys to assess their suitability for your needs. I do not think that you should use anybody to do your estate plan other than a truly specialized estate planning attorney, not the general practitioner, not for this area. And this is where they get mad at me, but call me about it if you're mad. Let's talk about it. Not the general practitioner. This area, this information is too crucial. Remember those 2 questions we started this whole podcast with. What happens if you die to the stuff that you own and to your children? Number 2, what happens if you can't make decisions for yourself? Who's going to make decisions for you and what would they decide? Why would you leave that plan to somebody who isn't well versed in this area of law? Don't call me to do a medical malpractice case. Don't call me to do a personal injury case. You don't want me doing that. And I think I'm a very good attorney, even in the court. I think I'm excellent in court. I'm not the guy that you want to represent you in personal injury. I don't specialize in that area. I also think that it's a huge mistake to use an attorney who truly does not specialize. I can feel him getting mad at me, who truly does not specialize in estate planning to do your estate plan. In whatever state you're in, find the truly specialized estate planning attorney to build it for you. It is that important. So So what should you look for as I close out? As the book said, you want to look at qualifications and experience. How many plans have they done in the past? What's the range of asset bases for the clients that they've dealt with? What's the range for types of plans that they've done, from blended families to, different family types to all kinds of matters? Have they had any experience? If you have a special needs issue, what kind of experience have they had in that? And then what I always do, when somebody calls me inquiring about a referral in another state, I always go on the websites of the attorneys they've sent to me, or look for attorneys and look at their websites. I can tell in 2 minutes if they're truly an estate planning attorney. Here's some clues. Is their page dedicated to estate planning content? If they have all kinds of law on their page, you can choose them if you want to, and they might do a great job. But I'm telling you, in my experience, find the person who's dedicated to estate planning to do your estate plan. It is that important. Remember the brain surgeon example I gave earlier in an earlier episode? It's not legal advice. I don't know that you want to hire a foot doctor to do your brain surgery. It's the same thing when it comes to estate planning. I think you should hire an estate planning attorney to do your estate plan. And remember, I'm saying that, and probably I can't be that person if you're not in my state. And so make sure you find somebody who specializes in the area. I think from my experience that it is that important. As you're listening, you might be wondering, what's the next step for me? If you're ready to start securing your family's future, head over to tquinn25.com and book a free consultation with me. Together, we'll create a plan tailored to your specific needs. But don't wait, your future deserves it. That's it for this episode of Will or Trust, What's Your Plan?